What's up, my friends? Welcome back to Everyday Struggle. I am Nadeska here with Academics and Wayno. Another great Ac outfit this morning. So you went and dug this one up from the garage. It's been like at least a year since you've worn this shirt.
The Respect Women t-shirt. And of course, I had to, bring out the long sleeves. I got a little extra chili in the crib today, trying to set the feng shui a little bit good. I still got a black men don't cheat on deck.
The what?
Listen, I got a few.
Shui.
Let me tell you, Wayno's giving me the looks, but Wayno has turned into me. He's all black everything now. Remember when Wayno was wearing like these little prison outfits for a little bit? This nigga was out here thugging it. Okay, Hype Beast Wayno will not return until we get back to New York.
I'm chilling. But academics, just make sure that you follow with your marketing. That's all. You know what I mean?
Of
if you
course,
wear
of
respect
course,
women's shirts and don't be out here not respecting the women. That's it. You know what I mean?
100%. I forgot what I was gonna say.
All right. So yesterday.
No. I was gonna ask you about just like if you're not wearing or you're not going out a lot, and you, I know you have like a million sneakers. What the fuck happens though?
I still wear my sneakers. I mean, we're not going anywhere to do the show. Like I do other stuff in life. So yes, I do still wear my sneakers. I still wear my sneakers, like not as much as
sneakers, nigga.
I do have a lot of sneakers, but I haven't been wearing as many as I like to. I still been buying sneakers too. So.
Are you serious?
I'm chilling. Hell yeah!
Is there sneaker maintenance? Like for example, when I don't drive my cars for a little bit, they get dusty. Is there sneaker maintenance you got to do when you don't wear them shits for a long time? I'm serious.
I mean, not that long. Like if you don't wear them in years, then they start to fall apart. But that takes a long time. But I probably wear most of them like once a year. Like
Academics is picturing you walking into your closet with a Swiffer duster, doing a light dust
real?
every couple days.
I don't do all that.
I feel disrespected that my man JLP hasn't hollered at Wayno for the at-home quarantine complex closet.
That's so good. I got a lot of sneakers that I've never worn. Like I got a bunch of shit that I've never even taken out the box or even looked at since I've gotten it. So it's cool. Right, I'm just chilling,
Just chilling.
2021, Wayno, you'll be back at the house with your sneakers
We'll
on.
We'll be good.
All right, guys. So yesterday we talked a lot about Kanye's presidential rally, and then things got a little strange on Twitter last night. Look, Kanye in the past, whenever he goes on these like stream of consciousness, I don't even want to call it a rant on Twitter. Sometimes it's funny. We take a couple gems out there. But last night, I think it was definitely really upsetting to people, who actually care about him. So he said a lot of things like, he thought the Get Out movie was about him. He posted a screenshot of himself texting with his mother-in-law, Kris Jenner, and named a couple people randomly like Halle Berry and Drake. And then said that after his comments at the rally, Kim Kardashian was trying to fly a doctor out to Wyoming to lock him up. Then he deleted a lot of the tweets, of course, and this ended with him sharing a track list for Donda and leaving it up this time, saying the album is coming on Friday. I am personally very concerned about Kanye, but I don't know. I feel helpless here. Like, how are we supposed to help him? I'm just wondering, although Kanye is a grown man, he's very rich, he's famous, he's powerful, is there no way someone around him can stop him from releasing an album when he's clearly not doing well? But anyway, how'd you guys feel reading those tweets last night?
Academics, is this another cry for help?
I'm gonna be honest with you. First, I don't have a problem with him releasing an album. We have to be very clear. Kanye is a self-admitted. He suffers from bipolar disorder, right? And I know it seems like we should just kind of like tell him to just go sit somewhere and go get help. But a lot of our favorite creators, they do suffer from mental illnesses, whether you know it or not. I think with Kanye, it's very apparent he does because he goes on a lot of rants that at least it seems obvious that, he's going through like an episode. But truthfully, if you look back in Beethoven suffered from bipolar disorder as well. And he used to go on all these type of episodes when he was creating art as well. So that and art, I understand, right? In regards to his family stuff, because he started tweeting about, family issues. Mm-hmm. Kim, Kris, which is his, Kim K's mom, his kids. That tells me that, he's either his family is worried about his well-being around them, maybe just his well-being overall, or maybe the well-being around the kids. And that needs a more intimate dealing with. By the way, like for anybody who's dealt with someone who has any mental illness, it's a very delicate situation. So of course, we, the outsiders, we have mad opinions on Kanye and some of the stuff that we might call crazy, but as long as like they could, and all these situations have to be managed, right? I'm not saying necessary medication, but maybe. A lot of times when you're dealing with somebody who suffered from these illnesses, you're managing it at each and every step. And it looks like his wife is trying to, get him some help. However, he's a little bit resistant. These things happen. It's playing out on the biggest stage. Of course, Kanye's Kanye. Nobody's going to turn off his Twitter. So I don't even see a big deal with it, honestly.
So you're good regardless. You just want to hear the music, period.
No. I think they're dealing with the in-house problem that we're seeing.
I know that's the problem it's spilling out. Like you mentioned, people in the past, a lot of artists have dealt with this, of course, but it's different when you said he's tweeting about family. It's on Twitter, and everyone has an opinion about it. It's just it's a little too much.
Who cares about their opinion? Kanye don't care. And I guess that's what I'm saying. Like, he works his issues out publicly. He works even his opinions and stances out publicly. He says dumb shit only to learn, and you see sometimes later he comes back around. That's how he deals with stuff. I don't think he cares about the billions of people or millions of people who are tweeting about him being crazy or whatever. I think, and that's why I said it's all about how the people around him deal with these issues.
Yeah, I think,
if you ask me,
I think people just gotta, seeing this, people have to really be careful what they wish for, because a lot of people would love to be in the position that he's in, as far as financially, career-wise, and I think that these episodes that's being played out shouldn't be things that we privy to. When we seen the whole what was it, the rally thing that he tried to put together, a lot of the stuff that he was saying, he was just misinformed on. He was saying a lot of incorrect things when he was trying to speak facts. Like I said about like the gun issues, like they asking about gun reform, and you talking about how you can shoot AR-15s in Wyoming all day. But 2 weeks ago, people were really trying to have a grown adult conversations about potentially voting for this person. And I think that his issues are way bigger than any of us can understand, and we don't need to understand because it's really not our business. But they have to stop playing out in public, because Kanye is gonna, hopefully he gets through all of this that he's going through, but we continuously want him to grow. We continuously want him to evolve. Like, I think when I think of him, I think of adaptation and evolving as an artist, as a businessman, all that cool shit. But these types of things can't keep happening, because even if he's putting out music, I think that deteriorates the reception of how his music is being taken in. Because at one point in time, we looked at him as this confident, stable person that spoke for hip hop culture. Now he just looks like a person that's like a fish out of water. Like, he all over the place. And I think that, like, even though he deals with shit publicly, that has to stop.
On the music side, I could accept it. A lot of people consider Lauryn Hill, which was one of the greats. They say she was going a little bit whatever, and
she ain't have Twitter though. She ain't have Twitter.
No, but she was going through some things when she created her second album. By the way, it was never recorded officially in the studio. Right. It was done live, and to be honest, I loved it. I loved all the mistakes. It's a mistake-filled album. I loved it. Now, I loved it even more than her first, which everyone considers a classic because it was just so raw. So I think that could be subjective. I think that could be subjective in terms of what the art will be. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be great. It might be fucking trash because Kanye been, he's all over the place. But, like, there were certain things that was concerning to me. Of course, I said with the family stuff, but that thing about Get Out that he mentioned, like, I do believe he's trying to, like, he's feeling a little bit uncomfortable in situations that he probably embraced before.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Yeah,
He's talked about some of those situations in the past before, though. Even explaining, sometimes he feels like he doesn't measure up in the family that he's in, and he doesn't have enough money and a lot of things. But look, guys, it's just, Kanye is someone that I have sort of loved and idolized and respected for a long time. And, music and art is important. But I feel like as a culture, it's always when things get to a point of it's too late, then, we want to express remorse and stuff. Like I said, we can't do anything, but it was just really sad watching. And I really, really hope that they can help him,
I do too. And I just hope that people look at this and understand that money is not everything.
I think he's coming to a lot of realization into what he has been. I seen him again. You know, of course, this is his kids, but like his wife did Playboy, and then you see, and he supported that. Then you see him talking about his kids, and he's trying to make sure his kids don't follow that route, which is contradictory to his stances before in being accepting to it. So it looks like, and I think that's where that get out thing was coming across. I don't know. Maybe I'm looking too deep into it, but like certain things that even his wife has done, he seemed like he was on the low, kind of shunning it then and trying to say that he's trying to provide different for his kids.
I mean, that shit wasn't really that low. You don't remember that clip that came out where he was saying about her taking pictures naked, and she was like, "I'm not, because you're on this spiritual journey, I'm not gonna stop doing what I'm doing." Like that shit.
That was then. You gotta remember when he
was on Ellen.
Started doing that. When she first even like did like some of those pictures that broke the internet, he used to say, "Yo, my wife is the most beautiful woman in the world," and like he supported that, right? So that was his stance then. You're right. There was a shift where during that spiritual journey, he wasn't cool with that no more. And now, especially with him growing up his kids, he wants to make it like, yo, hey, mommy did what she did, but y'all ain't finna follow her.
Yeah, and I hope people stop the whole he don't have no real friends, because I believe that he has tons of friends, but he's just gonna do what he wants to do regardless. You know, I think there's tons of people that love and care for him, so I think that's a little bit disrespectful to his friends. He has a lot of friends, but that man gonna do what he want to do, and especially if he's mentally unstable, they can't really help in a lot of them situations. So they're in a tough position. So I think people should stop trying to shit on the ones that do love him, you know?
Yeah. Pointing fingers definitely doesn't really help in this situation, you know? Let's see. I hope he holds the album for a bit until, you know, things are better, but we'll see what happens. Let's talk about a little bit of business before we go. So recently during a panel at SelectCon, Steve Stout and Russ were having a long conversation about being independent versus signing to a major label. So remember that Russ recently ended his deal with Columbia Records and he is indie again. So during that conversation, Steve Stout made this statement. He said, if Drake goes independent, the music business is over. So Russ went on to sort of detail how he thinks that could play out. So if Drake paid all the upfront costs to produce an album, for example, through the link in his Instagram bio, he says he can make, you know, something like $10 million a week for 60 weeks. Steve Stout predicting actually that he thinks is going to happen soon. He said Drake is about to come out in the next 6 months and get the biggest bag in the history of the music business by far. I think those are two different statements because Drake is not, you know, your average artist. So let's start with, if Drake goes independent, the music business is over.
I'm absolutely not. The music business isn't over. I mean, if Drake was totally independent, that would be a really dope gauge to see how great he's gonna do the same things he's been doing. But everybody not Drake, and everybody's not gonna be Drake. You know what I mean? Like everybody's situations aren't the same. A lot of people take deals for a lot of different reasons. And while if Drake was independent, that would be cool and that would be great. There's still a lot of people that don't give a fuck about that, and they're still gonna sign deals. You know, I get what Steve Stout is getting at, but that's inaccurate to me. You know, I think that it would change a lot of things, but like, no, it wouldn't stop the entire music industry. I don't think that labels go out of business because Drake goes independent.
I think it's a domino effect. I think that's why he's saying. I think he's forecasting. So you got to realize the reason why the music industry still exists. The music industry was about to go out of business. Like if we really think about it. Now I get it. They got all the
money. What year was this?
But what I'm talking about, they didn't have the business structure. Didn't make sense. It makes sense now. It didn't make sense right when they were shifting from CDs, when music wasn't being sold anymore, and they were trying to figure out how do you make money off of the music. It was a nonsensical business model. Which, if that continued for an elongated period, 10, 20 years, yeah, they're going out of business. What happened during that time is that it's all about market share, and that's what happened with the streaming services. They levied their catalogs because, to be honest, like streaming services were going to take over. Streaming services are really more important than labels. But yeah, how does the labels have the streaming services by the balls? They levied all their catalog. We have Drake, Post Malone, The Weeknd, Rihanna, whatever. You need our catalog. You got to license our music to play it on Spotify, Apple Music. Cut us this check up front. These are the rates, blah, blah, blah. That's how the music business, we went into a streaming era, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm saying is that they did that with market share. Independent sounds great, but independent artists are about 5% of market share in terms of the total records that get sold.
Mm-hmm.
Drake himself, being on a major, is about 10%. Mm-hmm. You get what I mean? Mm-hmm. So if Drake alone became independent, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Domino effect. Maybe 2-3 other artists follow. I'm not saying everybody, but if independent, if the independence market share was about 30 to 40%, you know what would happen? And I guess this is what Steve Stout is saying. Spotify would literally just sign an artist. We don't care about no Atlantic and Interscope. We're gonna sign you. You're that big. But the labels, they have levied their catalog and all their artists that they're gonna make sure that doesn't happen. They can't lose Drake. That's a fact. They can't lose Drake. You lose the biggest artist, I'm telling you, a couple others gonna follow. You're gonna lose market share. Right. You work with these labels. You know how much market share matters.
Absolutely, that's the only thing that matters.
All right. So how about his second statement that in the next 6 months Drake is about to come out?
No, I didn't respond. Hold on, my bad.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were done.
No, I wasn't giving a soliloquy.
My stance is still. I think my stance, like Ack made some good points, but I think my stance is still the same. I think that if Drake does it, Post Malone does it, you know what I mean, like the Baby, you know what I mean, like if he does it. But the thing about it is, a lot of these artists, I mean, Drake has built his career for damn near shit. He's gonna be going on 20 years soon, 15 almost right now. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of these artists, it's gonna take time to build them. Now, yeah, like if Spotify and Apple Music and them started signing artists, that shit would really flip the shit over on his head. But I think that like if Drake goes independent, a lot of people who are growing artists, aspiring artists, is still gonna look at it as. And I'm talking about on a grand level. I'm not talking about anybody that's anywhere near his level now. I'm just talking about like up and coming artists is still gonna be like, he did that. I need to take this. I need to get with this label so I could do these things. And it's more of them than it is the ones that, like you said, he's a small part of the market share. But it's more of the aspiring artists as opposed to the Drakes, the Post, the whomever that fits in that category.
And also, this is my last point on this. The reason why I think what Steve Stout said isn't as ridiculous. Remember when JayZ created the conglomerate, the Avengers of like, yo, hey, we are artists, we're standing with Tidal. And all these artists were going to own a part of his streaming service, which was Tidal. Pretty much one of the only missing main hip-hop artists was Drake. And him and JayZ had a little tit for tat, it seems, because of that. Yeah. Again, having Drake being the biggest artist, making a stance in anyway, whether it's saying, hey, I rock with Tidal opposed to other services, or even saying I'm independent rather than other things, again, I think that drives home the point a little bit more too.
Okay. Should I go now?
My bad for that.
You know it's fine. Good. You do give some soliloquy, so I'm never sure, you know? But yeah, his second statement, so not about the music business as a whole, but Drake specifically, that he's about to come out in the next 6 months. He gave us a timeline and get the biggest bag in the history of the music business by far.
Yeah, I think if he's rearing up, he's definitely going to sign one of the biggest contracts ever. But then that changes the whole idea of what we're talking about initially. Like Ack said, they can't let him go. You know, so if they want to keep him, they probably gonna have to pay something astronomically ridiculous. Almost like those TV deals that, remember when Russell Westbrook got that crazy ass deal, Academics for like 200-something million, never won a championship. You know what I mean?
Hey, no, it happens like that. And also, I think, you know, like we do know, like when you get in the music industry, you probably get that standard introductory, like, you know, contract or rates. That's how it goes. Drake at this point, his deal is probably really sweetened. You know, like I could imagine even now, incentive for him to stay on a major is like, hey, listen, how about we promise that we're gonna return the Masters for Thank Me Later, blah blah, like in 10 years or so. You know what I mean? You re-up for another 3 or 4. You get me? Like, like one thing, and I could definitely exclusively confirm because he did tell me this. All of his future releases will have it will be released through Universal/OVO. So it will be also on his imprint, by the way, which is a little bit, you know, OVO is on Warner.
Right.
OVO is his own imprint on Warner, but now his own imprint will also get credit for everything that he's putting out as well. That's a negotiation tactic. That's something that happened after a while. He has enough leverage. Hey, I'm not only dropping on Cash Money Universal or Cash Money Republic Universal. I want my label to get credit and blah blah. And you can imagine how the splits and anything else go happen with that, right? So I do think they probably own his catalog or most of it. Give a little, he's not gonna go nowhere. Like, it would really take him trying to be a pioneer to want to leave. They could afford any bag he wants.
Right.
Any bag he wants, they could afford it. And you just give him a little extra. Remember, they own your shit.
Right.
Hey, you like Take Care is your favorite album? You get Take Care back. You know what I mean? You get Take Care back, the Masters. You know, or maybe hey, we co-own the Masters. What's up?
Right.
I don't think he's going nowhere. We haven't seen that move ever. And honestly, I don't think Drake talks like he will ever do it. Even though I listen to the music and he says, yo, I'm the label, I do everything, and I just turn it in, basically saying that they don't help him at all. I've never heard him, unless it seems like when am I object.
No, I was about to say the only of course I'm coming with something from JayZ, but like I think that was the only person who did do something like that when he got his masters. He started Rock Nation. You know, because everything is like he owns the masters to his whole entire catalog. You know, but he started, and then remember for a while you couldn't get any of his stuff unless it was on title. Like they just started in the past, I think like after 444 drop was putting everything back on all other streaming services.
And to JayZ's credit, you know, and whoever is in the control room, the virtual control room, this is where you got to clip this because I'm giving JayZ credit over Drake. Jay, like we saw his business acumen, like he made that stand. Like yo, that's a ballsy stance he did to say, nah, take my shit off like I know my catalog is so good, I could take it off everywhere. I'm not gonna get it. Not that it's about relevancy. I'm not like my legacy's not gonna be tarnished or whatever.
Right.
And he made those moves as a boss. I don't know if Drake, when you're in that pop star realm, could do that. I mean, like I even look at Taylor.
Why not though? I mean, listen. I feel like that's a move. His music is that powerful. His music is that it sells that much. I mean, this nigga could not put out an album, and his old albums is selling more than people that's dropping every month. I think like he could take a stance like that. I mean, I don't know who's everybody that's behind him on the business side, but I think that he could take a stance like that. No,
of course he could, but I'm gonna use Taylor Swift as an example. Drake's a pop star. Like the enormity of the quote unquote the bag that he could get, right? Just like even Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift sold her whole catalog, didn't start crying about it. She sold it to Bieber's manager, Scooter Braun, and it was like, oh yo, y'all got my catalog. By the way, the company that owned like her catalog, her father was a co-owner. What I'm saying is that when you're that huge of a star and they offer you $250,000, $500 million, no, not $250,000, $250 million, $500 million, it's hard to say, keep the $500 million. I'm taking a stance for all independent artists. Now, truth be told, you're probably gonna make that, right? Because you're that good of an artist. But you work with labels. That upfront bag means a lot to people.
A whole lot, because you can do you can use it for so many things. You know, there's so many things you can build off of it. But that's what goes back to my whole point as to why a lot of artists is gonna stay going to labels. But
and also my last movie.
Always.
Drake got a whole goddamn cargo plane. He got an $80 million mansion. Drake lifestyle is very expensive.
Right.
The thing with when you get that upfront bag, guaranteed. It's guaranteed. Here it is. Take it quick. The independent life is about you got to still be on the grind, and you're working also in uncertainty. Now I get it. He is the hottest, but you never know. You know what I mean? Like when you're that big and your lifestyle probably costs a lot, the upfront bag is probably the sure bet. You know what I mean? Like, why would you do it otherwise? Even though I think maybe you should try it for one album.
For one album. Okay, Aki, cool if we skip numbers for today?
I got some more numbers if y'all want it.
You always have numbers. Let's skip it. Let's just end with Logic. So on the flip side of, going to collect the biggest bag in history with your next deal, Logic has announced that he's retiring after his next album. It's called No Pressure. It's dropping July 24th, this Friday. Produced by No ID. He said it's been a great decade. Now it's time to be a great father. He's 30, which is amazing. But apparently he's also signed a 7-figure deal with Twitch to play video games. So he's still going to be collecting some checks. Rappers often say they're retiring.
What?
A big...
What?
You feel threatened or...
Yeah.
No, I'm just trying to hear about
Pocket
the bag.
watching.
You know me, I like the bag.
7
talk.
figures, Zach. 7 figures
figures
with
Twitch.
Twitch. Rappers often say they're retiring and change their mind, but he might. But look, it's really dope to be able to retire at 30 and then collect a bag that big from Twitch.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like rappers never retire. You know what I mean? They never retire. They stay rooted some way, shape, or form in music. But the fucked up thing about this was so many people that was like dissing Logic, you know what I mean, because he wanted to retire. Yeah, but I think, that's good for him. You know what I mean? Like, good for him. If he wants to take his time in his next decade in raising his child, then let him do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's made enough money. Shit. Mm-hmm. Let him do that. And he's still going to be making more even with this Twitch situation. So, I'm always happy for dads, wanting to just run with that. So.
I don't think Logic is someone who says, "Yo, why y'all laughing already? Come on, man. Let me get
what happened with the
Because we
calculator?
work with
What
you.
did you figure out?
Because we work with you. That's why.
The show must go on. All right. Anyway, no. I don't see Logic as a person who says something. When a rapper says they're retiring, that means please cop this album that I could announce the next one right after you bought all the copies, right? I don't see Logic as that type of rapper. By the way, keep in mind, it was 2 years ago on this show, I think we discussed him signing like a $30 million deal, rumored, or I don't know if it was rumored or reported. I think he even spoke about that. Maybe his obligation is complete. Maybe it's a renegotiation tactic. I always think about that. Renegotiation tactics are always like, hey, I'm done. Hey, I'm leaving, right? Great. I do think maybe he does want to, I think he wants to be a father, but I always think in entertainment, I believe the art and the fans retire you. It's very rare you retire yourself. When they're done with you, you're done. It's never when you want to. 30 is very young. And I know for people who might be like 17, like, no, this nigga old as fuck. No, 30 is super young.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, if you think about all the greats in hip-hop, of course, some, passed before, whatever. But the ones who had long careers, 30, they start hitting their stride.
Yeah,
or
absolutely.
around then, or even after then. Shit, even in basketball. 30 isn't like, okay, all right, man, you old washed up, right? And I'm thinking that while he might be a little bit sincere now, I do believe he will return, 100%.
Okay, he definitely has a very, very loyal fan base. Of course, people like to talk shit on Twitter because that's just what they do. But I do think he has people who still really supports him. So either way, that's really dope. Take some time off to raise the baby.
I just can't wait till Lil Uzi turns 30. That's gonna be the most amazing time.
What?
It's just gonna be fun.
Blue with this.
What?
I just because you kept talking about 30. I remember when he said if you're 25, you old as fuck. So he's like 25. I think he's 26 now, right? Yeah. So he turns 30.
Age shaming in hip hop sounds good till they get there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like we've never seen Uzi do another stream saying, "Yo, I'm an old ass nigga." Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Again, of course, the youth aspect in hip hop would always be celebrated, but like people be forgetting that some of our favorite artists that we liked 5 years ago, they're 30. They're going to 35.
Absolutely.
It's about mentality, not always age.
Absolutely. All right, guys, that's our show for today. Tomorrow we're going to talk about verses. We got a big one coming up on Wednesday, which is pretty exciting.
Is that the Snoop and DMX?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's going to be legendary. But we'll talk about it tomorrow. So already, make your predictions and we'll jump into that. Thank you guys for watching Everyday Struggle. We'll see you here tomorrow.